Hi, so today I'm here with a Moroccan Multiculturalism and Human Rights alum here, and I'm very happy that Devon decided to take some time with us. So Devon, would you like to take a moment and introduce yourself?
Yeah, I would. Hey, my name is Devon Salge. I'm from Indianapolis, Indiana. I currently study at Indiana University in Bloomington, and I went to Morocco on the spring of 2016.
Well, thank you very much for trying out this new platform and being willing to take some time to talk with me so prospective students can hear about a firsthand perspective there in Morocco. So now, there are lots of opportunities there. Let's jump right in. And there are lots of opportunities to study abroad out there, whether it's in the Middle East or in general. So what made you choose SIT, and specifically what made you choose the Morocco program?
Well, SIT, I enjoy because they have a lot of emphasis on the experiential learning aspect. Not only was I getting a lot of in-class time to have regular academic discussion, as I'm used to at my university environment, but I also had a lot of structured activities outside the classroom. There were excursions that took me all over the country. I if I didn't want to, I had any plans for myself. I actually saw the South, the North, and got to stay at a village stay all through the program, though those weren't things that I had to plan. The program took me there. I did really well learning Arabic in the field, which was another component. They're a very strong language. Morocco specifically, I don't really know what drew me to Morocco. It was kind of a decision where I knew that I wanted to kind of go in that Mediterranean African region, and it just presented itself to me. And I read over some of the details of the program, and like I said, strong experiential learning, great language, and it seemed like an all-around great idea. So I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Well, thank you very much there. So now I'm going to ask you to hone in a little bit more. And if you could name one aspect of the SIT program there as the most valuable or favorite aspect, what would it be?
Let's see. There's a lot of them. For me, I really liked my homestay. Again, another experiential learning aspect specific to SIT. Not a lot of programs like require you to do that, and I think that I did need that push to go into the homestay. But once I was there, I made a lot of good friends. I still talk to my host brothers and host cousins. In fact, the final ISP, my translator was my cousin because she was an English major and she could speak French and Arabic and English. So she really helped me out, made a lot of friends there. The cooking is great and they really do make you feel like they are your family.
That's really great to hear. And now, along those lines, if you could name one thing that you learned on an SIT program that you don't think you could have learned anywhere else, what would that be?
Let's see. Mm, wow, that's an interesting one. There's a lot of, again, a lot of things. That trip to Morocco was a once in a lifetime experience. The Arabic, I never would have studied Arabic had I not gone there. I think cultural diversity. I was a part of the multiculturalism program, and I don't really think I ever thought about what goes into multiculturalism. Like Morocco has European influences, sub-Saharan African influences. It has the original inhabitants, their culture there, and it has the Arabs as well. So, I mean, it gave me a really good look at some. I think that it would be okay to say that the United States is a multicultural society as well. So it gave me a lot of perspective thinking about, what is, how do you define a country's one culture? I don't think that that's really something that you can do. And I've been thinking a lot about it since I've been back and looking at all the subcultures around my city of Indianapolis and being like, oh, this is multiculturalism. I didn't realize it before, but this is just multiculturalism.
It's amazing how studying another country can really make you look at your own country through a different lens. Now, were you familiar with our experiential learning aspect or our experiential learning model previous to an SIT program?
I looked into it, but I really wasn't. I wasn't too sure about what it was. I knew the idea of experiential learning, like as a general concept. Like throw yourself into it and see what you get out, but not specifically SIT's model.
And that's understandable because we're a well-kept secret up here in Vermont. As you see, our programs are intentionally kept small, so the experiential learning model there can really thrive. So how would you explain SIT to someone who's not familiar with experiential learning or not familiar with us at all? How would you explain us to them?
Oh, wow. So basically, SIT gives you all the tools that you need to discover the place by yourself. Really good support system, but allows you to do what you need to do to find out in that culture what you want to find out. That's pretty much the best way that I can describe it. Like you have, at the end of the program, you have your ISP, which is this looming thing the entire time you're thinking, how am I going to do this huge project by myself without any help? But you really do have help. This whole program is just based on giving you little tastes of here and there. This is what Morocco is, and trying to get you to find the question that you want to answer at the end of your trip. So then it gives you the tools, doing research methods and ethics classes to answer that question.
And that's a perfect segue into my next question. It's like we rehearsed this already. So my next question is, what was the topic of your ISP or independent study project? And have you had a chance to continue that study in the field or in the region or in the language now that you're back home in Indiana?
Okay, so I did authenticity in art, and that is basically saying, back to my multiculturalism thing, how do you describe Moroccan art when there are so many facets to the culture? Is it something that has French characteristics in painting? Is it something that has these Amazigh symbols in it? Does it have to have all of these characteristics or just some of it? So what I did was I went around to, I believe, 12 different artists and artisans in the Rabat area, which is where I stayed. And I had my cousin translate all my questions into asking people, what does it mean to be a professional artist in Morocco? What does it mean to have authentic Moroccan art? Do you have to be Moroccan in order to make Moroccan art? Can it be somebody like me who can be taught Moroccan art and just replicate it? And is it more, it was a really interesting abstract question that I didn't get like a final answer to, but that's kind of what I was looking for, was this idea that you can't really pin down something that has so many different kinds of characteristics. I really enjoyed it. I got to keep a lot of the art that I was talking to the people about. They normally gave me a discount, or at least they said they did. So I really enjoyed that. I've been talking to my family and friends about it because it really was an interesting experience, but I haven't been able to really continue that authenticity component yet. I plan on doing that once my semester starts here in about a week, because I do have a lot of friends here in the art school, and I actually have one professional friend who lives in Miami that I am planning on eventually seeing again. I don't know when the next time, but I am going to ask him some very similar questions and see what his thoughts are. Because as I said, the United States is sort of the similar mishmash of cultures that I was kind of studying and getting at. So it was a very, very rewarding experience.
It does sound like that. So can I mention your name when I'm looking around these artist markets next month in Rabat?
Oh, maybe.
We'll
I
see
don't
if they
know.
remember you.
Yeah, we'll see.
So now that I'm coming to my last couple of questions, I wanted to ask you if you knew then, before you applied to the program, what you know now, what would one thing be that you could, you wish you could tell the naive Devon who is applying to the program?
Okay. This one's a little bit more personal. It's letters, the mailing system. You need to write the address in French because that's their like official language. None of my letters made it back to the United States because I put it all in English, and I was thinking, you can get it to the United States and then they'll be able to tell, but you need to put both of them on there. And I was writing to a girlfriend and my mom and some friends, and none of them got their letters or postcards. And I think that that would have been a cool thing to actually have been writing in real time, you know, while I was in Morocco, putting down my thoughts, which I did in a journal, but that's different because I'm talking to myself in a journal. Whereas if I'm talking to somebody else, it's going to be kind of different. And then I get back to the United States and I can read it and look at it and think about exactly what was happening when I sent that. But you can't do that if you don't get the letters. So make sure that they're in French and definitely stay connected with the people back in the United States, but don't obsess over it because you need to find a new life in Morocco. You're going to be there for 4.5 months. Like, you need to dive in.
That's definitely true, yeah. And also, I think the International Postal Union uses French as its operating language.
Yeah, really, I didn't know anything about that. So,
yeah, I just didn't make the connection because so often nowadays you just write the country's name in English no matter where
that's what
you're
I
writing
thought.
to.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. So you have to write Etaoni or something?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. That's good to know when I'm sending postcards home.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now, my last question is, if you could speak directly to whoever may be watching this now or in the future and let them, give them that little push to submit the application, they may be contemplating studying on your program or in Morocco or just studying abroad in general. But if you could say something to them to give that little push, what would it be?
Oh man, you should just do it because it was the best time that I've ever had. And I had friends who were studying all across Europe that were thinking, hey, I'm just going to go visit Devon here in Morocco. It's a cheap flight over to Marrakesh. And they came and they said that it was probably the coolest place that they had been to, honestly, because you go throughout Europe, you have great architecture and culture and all that, but it's so different in Morocco. You have these cool buildings, you have modern buildings, you have really old ones, which is the same as in Europe, but then you have people like speaking Arabic next to French, next to English, next to something that you've probably never even heard of called Tamazight. And it's just an incredible place. The food is great. It's actually a pretty decent cost of living. Like, it's very affordable for students, as well as the fact that, I mean, at least at my school, you get scholarship money for going to not Europe. That's pretty much it. Yeah. So that was a big deal for me, finance wise. So it's just, and the friends that I got on that trip, because we are in such a different place. Like, you can't be walking up and down the street asking people for directions in English. You got to do it in one of their languages because not a lot of people speak English. Going through that with somebody and just being in a completely virgin environment that you've never been in before and you're just walking around with these people, you get to know them very well. So even though I only have one other alumni at my school, I'm keeping in contact with people at 20 or 30 other schools right now because we're actually really good friends after just one semester. So it's definitely the experience of a lifetime. I would recommend it 100%.
Well, thank you again for that ringing endorsement there. Really, I'm looking forward to going and visiting again next month. So thank you. And I wish you the best of luck as your semester starts next week.
Yep.
So you have a good afternoon there.
All right. See you later, Ian.
Bye.